Through the magic of video editing, here I am in Florida. And then, good morning everyone, welcome to Indiana. After 1,300 miles and a day and a half, I made it here. And I'll give you a little shot here now that I've got the bike unloaded, what the van looks like. I got my little home away from home here. And so I'm all set up now. Well, here we are in the shop and we're about ready to get started here. The first project we're going to work on is a mount for the RotoPax extra fuel. And we've started it here already. We kind of were doing it by mail. But Roy had bent up a piece of aluminum here from predetermined measurements that we had taken when he was down there at my house in Florida. And then he mailed it to me, and then I subsequently went ahead and marked, drilled, and countersunk holes here on the top where it'll sit on top of the per-run rack. And then I've put holes in the side here for where the RotoPax Mount will be attached at, where that will be bolted on. And so one of the projects we're going to work on today is getting this bent up into a little bit tighter shape here so it doesn't stick out quite so far. So the first thing we're doing here is we're using a pneumatic press brake here to bend the angles on the side of the bracket just a little bit more to make them a little more upright than what we had originally bent it to. So we'll just kind of creep up on our measurement that we want so that we just continually to bend it just a little bit more until it fits the bike exactly how we're after it. We now have the bends in the position that we want them in, and now we're just using a washer to mark the corners of the piece, and we're going to use a sander to go ahead and radius those off so they don't have a sharp edge on it here. I don't know if you can hear in the background there, but we're listening to Bob and Tom. It's a very popular morning radio show here in the United States, especially here in Indiana, where they do comedian type things. We're just cleaning up the edges here and taking any burrs off so that there's no sharp edges. A little hand filing on the edges. The next thing we're going to do is make two gussets that we'll put here on the side here, which will stiffen it up so this doesn't flex back and forth as you're going down the road against this radius here that's been bent into the piece. I had already made a little cardboard gusset pattern, and so we're just marking that out on a scrap piece of aluminum here that we'll cut two of those gussets out and then weld them on to the RotoPax mount bracket we're making. We're getting it clamped up here and ready to TIG weld. Okay, here we are test fitting the bracket that we've made, and the TIG welds are done. And what we're working on now is we're trying to figure out a way to brace this more. As you can see here, it has a little bit of flex yet, and so we're going to try to take that flex out by bracing it. I have a screw hole right here that we can mount to on both sides of the bike. And so we're going to get some cardboard and do a mock-up and see about making a brace for this. Okay, we have the braces done, and we just have temporary bolts in it right now. And you can see we put a little bit of a spacer in here, and this makes this a pretty solid mount. I'm rocking the whole bike here. So I'll be able to put 4 RotoPax, 2 cans each side of the bike, to give me 3 extra gallons of gas and a gallon of water that I can put on the bike here. So this is what it looks like mocked up. The next thing is I'll take the parts in and get them sandblasted and ready for powder coat. The last piece that we're making for the RotoPax mount is a specialty nut that will fit here where we're mounting to. And if you can see, there's just this rectangular tab that's a part of the KTM 790 Adventure R frame that sticks out. And as you can see, I'm sticking my finger through it. It's hollow in here, but because it's so tight, if you tried to put a regular nut in there, you would not be able to get a wrench around it to be able to tighten it up. Yesterday when we were mocking it up, we used a regular hex head nut. However, we just hand tightened it. But what Roy is going to be making is this item right here. It's just a handmade nut with the hole offset from center that will slide. Let's see if I can get it in here and describe it. Slide right in there and fit snug so that we can screw into it. And because it is rectangular in shape, we won't need to use a wrench to tighten it. It'll just, this piece right here will act as its own wrench. And so that is the last piece that we're making, and we should get that done. I'm going to do just a little bit more sanding on the mount itself, and then everything will be ready for the powder coater. Okay, we've got all the parts manufactured now for the RotoPax mount for the KTM 790 Adventure R, and tomorrow we'll get those parts to the powder coater, and when we get those back I can show you a little bit more video on the installation. So that project's just about done. Okay, hey, we got the parts back from the powder coater, and they look awesome. I just did it in gloss black, and after a little sweat equity, I've got the RotoPax mount bolted onto the KTM 790 Adventure R, and I will show you here a little bit how it's going to work, but it'll be able to hold 2 cans each side. So I'll be able to carry 3 extra gallons of gas and a gallon of water. And here's the RotoPax gas cans mounted on the bike. I think it turned out really well, and this will give me a tremendous extra amount of range when we get into situations where you need extra gas. Another nice thing about mounting the cans in this orientation is that you can easily burp the cans in hot weather, and you don't have to dismount them from the mounts in order to do that. Well, I hope you like this video on a custom mount for the RotoPax. I thought they just turned out really well. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again. Take care.